Hey, what's up, fam? After a good while since the last time I had much to really say in a positive light for Seven Deadly Sins, we got a good chapter this week for 288, and I gotta say that Nakaba, he does so much better when he's not talking about power levels and he's just doing action and leaving characters to just an interesting ability that has versatility and kind of can and level into a pretty good choreographed fight where it starts out Escanor and I'm not even gonna I'm gonna try to say the name again. Rudeciel Angel Dude said start the counterattack and the dude tries to blind everyone so he can make an opening to where Escanor uses this cruel sun, blows up the ground. They try and create like a big veil to where they can't be seen, so they go in for an attack before he can use his ominous nebula in time to either attack them or push them back or what they would do. But he's able to do that anyway. And when they're trying to figure it out, he's just like, you know what, screw you guys. I'm gonna get a little bit more serious. And you actually see the mark on his forehead, his demon mark, change shape. So he's getting him a little bit more serious with it, and the power behind it doubles over. And with that, you kind of end up getting the explanation of what Ominous Nebula does is he's using his darkness in a way that he's like rotating it around him at like high speeds to create like a vortex and a vacuum so things will either get sucked to him or he doesn't reverse and get pushed away from him. And just like the darkness itself, like anything that's touching it like is slicing it up. It's like kind of like almost like razor winds. You know you've ever seen that, someone does like a an air slash and it's so like strong and yet thin. It just can like cut through metal and stuff. That's kind of what he's doing with his own darkness and just the speed that he's using around. And it's pretty cool. I think it's a really interesting technique just because he doesn't need to do anything other than keep that stance seemingly and just kind of keep it going without having to use his sword or use his any of his other abilities. And he's just at that point doing a large AoE attack and everything around him is pretty much, going to get subjugated to his attack, which I think is pretty cool. I think that's really interesting just to have a way to have a an all-around attack that as long as he knows his opponent's there, he's going to be able to keep either pulling or pushing him in and try and get him hit by the attacks. It's a really cool offense defense ability without it being too ridiculously overpowered and seemingly broken. Just it has just a simplistic yet really useful and cool technique that he's developed. And actually, I really like this. I think the Cobb is better when he's doing fights like this instead of really boring, just kind of like circle jerking Meliodas for 30 years. Because a lot of the better fights in the series, I think, are ones that don't involve him and just are on random characters getting in battles. But following that, you have a I'm just gonna keep calling him Angel Leader Dude. Going in to try and attack, he ends up almost getting hit. Guild Thunder ends up getting pierced to lead to the last kind of bit where Merlin creates an opening, not opening. She extends kind of like the fight a little bit out. She just tries to buy him time by continuously teleporting her and Escanor around. And when that happens, actually, I don't think looking back at it, I think that's not Escanor. I think that's getting Gil Thunder out of there. I don't know. It might be Escanor. Just like looking at it, I'm not too sure at that part specifically, but that's where it kind of leads up to where Escanor turns and just at this point, Ominous Nebula isn't doing anything to him, and it's time for the 1 minute where he is at his peak. He's the most powerful he is. He's as the description is written as all pride on heaven and earth, which is really cool. I like the way that it looks. The only problem I ever had with the one is just like I feel like the wicked facial expression is it's just a little kind of out of place for his character, but I like the really big like lumbering like bulking strength look to him instead of like if you remember what he looked like in the very early chapters when you saw how big he got and he looked kind of clunky. But he looks cool now, and now just like that one-handed axe just looks like a toy to him. And this next chapter is going to be pretty exciting. I think it's going to be pretty good. As long as there's no ridiculous shenanigans, I think the fight will end up being entertaining for everybody. And it's going to be really cool. Also, just a side note, I really like Zelda as a sword. I've always really liked his sword design. I think it's pretty cool. I think it's yeah, it's one of those executioner ones made for beheading. But anyway, tell me if you like this chapter, if you enjoyed it in the description below. Thumbs up the video. If you liked it, subscribe to the channel. Check out my other stuff, and mostly manga and anime. Otherwise, thank you very much for listening. And if you're already subbed, I appreciate you for being around. So thank you. Bye.